Hey, it's Tim here. In this video, I want to cover everything announced at Tableau Conference for Tableau Prep. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so Tableau Prep didn't have as many blockbuster features as the rest of the platform, but nonetheless, there were a handful of things to touch on, and I think they're important. So let's take a look at them in this particular video. Now, what I will also say is that a lot of Tableau Prep capabilities do tend to be platform-wide. So if you take something like Tableau GPT, that was platform-wide, and we saw one example of how it can work inside of Tableau Prep. We also have things like Tableau Pulse, although that is an ability to build metrics. I wouldn't be surprised if Tableau Prep has a unique capability to push certain types of metadata to things like Tableau Metrics as well and Tableau Pulse. So that would be another interesting area to wait and see what specific detail actually refers to Tableau Prep as we get our quarterly release cadence. Nonetheless, the first thing I want to talk about is obviously Tableau GPT inside of Tableau Prep. The example we saw on Devs on Stage was essentially Matt Miller demo from him, where he essentially asked Tableau to write a calculation to extract the email from a JSON dataset inside of Tableau Prep. And that was fantastic. That is just a simple example. And you can imagine how that calculation feature was demoed in Tableau Prep, but actually works right across the platform. Something like Tableau Desktop, no reason why that wouldn't have it as well. The other area that was featured in the video was the ability for Tableau Prep to do joins on spatial data. Now, if you use a tool like Alteryx, this is a native capability, essentially being able to take two spatial data sets and being able to define a join by specifying, whether they overlap, whether you want the outer regions that don't overlap, and doing that in a spatial way. Now, that is a very sort of unique data set, and typically people have had to do this outside of Tableau Prep, or they've used third-party tools through the Python capability that you can run inside of Tableau Prep. That was announced as well, so that was good to see. I think Tableau Prep is turning into this sort of secret sort of power tool, because the features keep coming release by release. And if you've been keeping track of all these features, it's getting it closer and closer and closer towards matching some of the basic capabilities of something like Alteryx, which has been around for years. And I don't know about you, but the Alteryx interface for me is just long overdue a refresh and a change. And Tableau Prep has really taken a fresh approach to how to improve that kind of interface, but also make it fun and interesting and applicable to the Tableau platform. So that's always a personal sort of thing I like to champion about Tableau Prep. It might not have the same power, but it's a damn sight nicer to use, even though at some points it does have quite a few annoying bugs. Anyway, let's keep moving. One of the nicest features was the ability to choose the rows on which your headers are located. Sometimes when you connect to a data source, the headers are not on row one of that data source. And with Tableau Prep, it's been super annoying because you've had to go and specify and then rename a bunch of fields. And that's always been some sort of messy way of doing it. Maybe bulk pivoting and then unpivoting. There's so many different approaches to the same problem depending on your file. What they showed was a capability that can automatically do that, or specifically an option where you can go and specify your specific rows. Something like named ranges in Excel does this sort of if you're kind of working with those, but if you're working with CSV and flat files, you don't get that, and so this is a super nice feature to use. The last two features I'd like to talk about are the ability to remove duplicates. That's a very sort of difficult thing to do correctly, and Tableau had a smart suggestion feature that could do that. Again, you kind of have to wait till you see this in practice, because removing duplicates sometimes sounds easy to do, but there are also instances where duplicates exist for a reason. Let's say you go to a shop and you buy two things at exactly the same time. The transaction might look like you've got duplicates in there, but unless you've got some sort of unique identifier or some other sort of information that can tell you whether it's a duplicate or not, that's always a tricky thing to do. So it's one of the features that I like to not trust until I've rigorously tested it and seen it for myself. The final thing is, I think, something that is growing a lot of momentum, which is Tableau Exchange, specifically Tableau Exchange connectors inside of Tableau Prep. This enables features and connectors like Amazon S3 inside of Tableau Prep. So that is a super nice feature. If you want to check out these connectors, I'll put them up on screen, but there is a growing list. More and more vendors are building connectors for their technologies inside of the Tableau platform. So something to check out and something to be super sort of alert of, because you might just find in a year from now, we have twice the number of connectors, and these connectors can just be used today for free. They can be easily added to Tableau or Tableau Prep, and it's now great to have them directly inside of the product. that's pretty much it for the features. I've gone through my list of features, and I think that's pretty much everything. If you've got any questions, any notes about Tableau Prep, drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.